So yeah, translate is one of the first few transformations. It moves the object. The second one, like I mentioned briefly before, is rotate. So let's try. Actually, before we do that, what you will have to do, or at least what I prefer to do, is going to the setup function, and we're going to put angle mode degrees here. And then I am going to rotate all my objects to, say, by 45 degrees. Let's try that. And so now they have all rotated relative to the 100 by 100 point. Why I put angle mode degrees, so if I go to p5.js reference here, and I type angle mode, so yeah, with degrees, so the default mode for the computer to read angles is by radians, whereas if we go degrees, it's just a bit more, it's just a bit easier for me to process personally of like, oh, okay, I want it 60 degrees or 90 degrees. It's just a bit more universal to understand. So again, if we look back to our little diagram, we're rotating the entire canvas. And so everything's sort of like shifting like that. And so going back here, so what we can also do is have the objects spinning continuously. Firstly, we make an angle variable, so let angle, and we're going to specify it as 0 as a global variable. Next, so we've got angle mode degrees, that's checked. And then with the draw function, which loops continuously, as we all know, at the end of the draw function, I'm going to set angle equals angle plus 1. And we are going to set the rotate command with the angle. And so let's see what happens then. And now it's spinning. The draw loops, the angle just expands more and more. So it increases by 1 degree every time it's running. I'm just going to try bumping up our translate function here to 200 by 200, just so it can be more centered. All right. So if you look closely, this set of 3 shapes is rotating by, as we said, by the starting point of the new canvas, which is the canvas that starts at 200 by 200. That starting point is at the top left of this rectangle, which sits at 0, 0, right? If I cancel out these two shapes just now, let's focus on the rectangle. How would we make it spin as its center axis? It's pretty simple. All you need to do is in setup mode, in setup function, sorry, I put in rect mode. It's rect mode center, and then in all caps, close parentheses and close semicolon. And so now if I run this, the starting point for the rectangle is no longer the top left corner, but it's now at the center of the rectangle. So we're going to bring back the 2 shapes just now. Oh. So I'm going to just stop them from spinning, I think. Another transformation that we can try is scale. So scale's pretty self-explanatory. It just scales your entire canvas. So the default one is 1, so that means 100% its original size. So if I go like that, nothing would change. But if I go, okay, make it 3 times bigger, and then if I make it a number that's less than 1, obviously, like 0.3 times, then it's going to be smaller. I guess one of the ways that you can play around with this is if you attach it to your mouse X and mouse Y functions. And so, for example, maybe if we want scale to be connected to mouse X, let's see what happens then actually. And oh, it's probably too much. Let's try X divided by 10. And yeah, and so now you have a set of objects that's transforming based on the placement of your mouse. Yeah, or you can even translate it to follow your mouse by placing mouse X and mouse Y into your translate function. And so then you have this, ooh, the scale's making me dizzy, so I'm just going to cancel that for now. But yeah, and now it's moving around with your cursor wherever it goes. Yeah, translate, rotate, scale. That's the main transformations that you can sort of play around with for the time being.